Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday. I'm your host, Judge Graham. Got my main man, Philip Anthony, on camera with me today. I'm gonna shout out Philip.
What's up?
Hey. And so today on Whiteboard Wednesday, we're gonna talk about something that most people don't talk about, and it's such a key topic in business. Specifically, as you're growing your business, and if you ever want to exit or sell your business, this topic should be near and dear to your heart and something you're constantly focusing on. So please, on Whiteboard Wednesday, grab paper, pen, leave me comments below, share this content. It's gonna be amazing. You ready? What is customer concentration? It is the measure of how total revenue is distributed among all your customer base. Bear with my beautiful handwriting here. So I want to get a real true example of customer concentration. So we just learned the definition of that. And now it's time to really understand why it's important and what it means. So when you take company one here, for example, and they do 10 million in revenue, and then company two, different company, but they do 10 million in revenue. In all these different C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, and C6, these are their clients, right? So this company one that has 10 million in revenue has 6 accounts, and the accounts, how you break out the revenue is they have one customer that has 5 million, and the rest of their accounts each have 1 million, right? Makes sense. So adds up, should be a total of 10 million. Philip, do my math, but I think I'm right. And then company two, same thing, 10 million, but they have 10 clients, and each one of those clients consists of 1 million. So I did simple math here, but this will really illustrate the importance of customer concentration. So company one is all happy because they have 10 million, right? And then they wake up on a Thursday and customer one that's worth 5 million fires them, right? Boom, overnight, that customer is gone. Well, they just lost 50% of their revenue. That's devastating to that company, right? Now, company two wakes up on that same Thursday and they lose customer one, right, which is 1 million, but they've only now lost 10% of that revenue. So you can see here, this company's client concentration was heavy up on one customer, and the impact of losing 50% of your revenue is devastating to that company. Why? Well, they're gonna have to make a lot of cuts. They're gonna have to lose people. Let's say that they're in a big lease or space. They have equipment that they're leasing. They have fiduciary duties to banks. Well, now they've lost 50% of their revenue. They're in jeopardy of losing their company because of that. And why? Is because they weren't focusing on the client concentration of their revenue. Where this company can take a hit like that, they lost the same one account, but it was only 10%. So this is more like just a little bump in the road. This is a major issue. So now that we talked about and showed that example about the importance of customer concentration, right? And when certain clients take a large percent of revenue and you lose that client, it becomes an issue. So step two, what's a good mix when you're looking at that? For me, no one client should make up more than 10% of your total revenue. Now that's kind of a nirvana state. You could probably go anywhere as high as 15%, but you should have alarm bells going on when you have a client that's taking more than 10 to 15% of your total revenue, right? Think about the example we just went over and why that's critical. So step three here, why does that matter, right? When you start a business, you're just excited and you're wanting to grow and you're making money, but at some point, hopefully you have an end game, and that end game is a big financial event, right? If you're not building a business to sell, then why are you building the business, right? You want a financial transaction, a big event. And customer concentration is key in order to getting to that big event, because it matters, because it's high risk if a big client leaves, which we just went over, right? So if you have 50% in one client, that's an issue. Two, as you grow your company, maybe you want to get financing through banks or investors that want to invest in your company. The likelihood of those banks lending you money and or investors giving you money to invest in the company, if you have bad customer concentration or high customer concentration in a certain area, they're not going to lend you because it's too risky. The other reason it's important is buyers will not buy or they will discount your business. Simply put, you could have a $100 million business, you're making a ton of cash, but you have one client that's taking 30 or 40% of your revenue. When you try to go sell your business, buyers are not going to be interested in that. It's too risky for them to buy your company, that asset, and or if they do buy it, they're going to discount really what it's worth because you haven't focused on customer concentration. The last one, usually what happens is your margins get squeezed, right? So if you have a customer that takes up 30%, 40%, 50% of your revenue, they know they have you. And what I mean by that is they know how big of a client and how meaningful they are to you, and usually they squeeze your margins, right? Because they know you're not going to fire them because of the devastation it will do to your business. So these are key. I mean, listen, this customer concentration thing is key, right? So why does it matter? High risk of clients leaves, you could go out of business. Banks and investors probably won't lend you money. Buyers will either not buy you or discount you, and your margins usually get squeezed. So that's step 3. Step 4, how do you mitigate and manage customer concentration? I mean, this is key. So the people out there that are listening to this and saying, Judge, well, you know, my business, I have a client that's 50%. You know, there's ways to work around that, right? I mean, so if you're sitting there and you're looking at your P&L right now and you have 1 or 2 clients that are past that 10 or 15% mark, listen to these steps. You need solid contracts. Get a great attorney. Seek out an attorney. And if you have a big client and customer, write in legal language to help protect you, right? Do a 6-month buyout of your contract. Do some creative things to where the client isn't invested in you as much as you're invested in them, and it puts you less at risk, right? So as you grow that account and it gets bigger and you've got to require more space, re-up your contract with the customer to ensure if they fire you, you can cover some of those things not to devastate your business, right? So step 1, get solid contracts in place as you're taking on these big accounts to protect yourself, okay? These are going to sound simple, but people aren't doing these. Grow your existing customers. So as you look at that base and you've got clients that are taking up 2%, 3%, 1%, 0.5% of your total revenue, that's an opportunity to grow them, right? The easiest accounts you can grow are your existing accounts. And so to offset a 30% account, start focusing on the accounts that are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7% of your revenue and grow them all to 10%. Right, which is then now going to reduce, even if you don't get new ones, it's going to reduce that larger account. The other thing, get new customers. Get in the money sheet. Constantly be growing your business. The more customers you get on board, the more diversified that client customer concentration is going to be. So grow the existing base that have low percentages and get new customers. Now, review weekly and monthly your customer concentration. So depending on the volume of sales that you're doing, you're going to want to look at this weekly, if not monthly. Sit down with yourself or your CFO and really dive into your books and understand at an account level or a customer level, what amount of revenue are they contributing to? And if you have an alarm bell, if anybody starts going past that 10%, start activating these steps to protect your business. I hope you enjoyed this time of Whiteboard Wednesday, and as always, make it happen.